police and the people. It's just like, yeah, we're going to leave.
Tonight we hear from people who survived the bloodbath in Southern California, while law enforcement works to learn more about the couple responsible for what happened. More accounts of survival and death are now coming to light in San Bernardino, the site of the worst terror attack in our country since 9/11. At the same time, officials are beginning to unravel the mystery behind the husband and wife team that slaughtered 14 innocent people. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has more.
Shooting. Gunshots.
Jenna Niende was inside a room full of co-workers at a Christmas party when two shooters unloaded at least 65 rounds. Another victim, Denise Peraza, described the horror to her sister.
She said that as soon as the gunfire started, everyone dropped down to the floor and they were underneath desks, and she was trying to shield herself with a chair with the man who was next to her.
That man, Shannon Johnson, held his arms around her, telling her, "I got you." He did not survive.
We are now investigating these horrific acts as an act of terrorism.
Officials are now trying to find out more about the husband and wife shooters, Saeed Farouk and Tashfeen Malik, and whether Malik may have radicalized her husband. She posted to Facebook around the time of the deadly rampage to declare her allegiance to ISIS.
Terrorism is not gender specific. Violence is not gender specific. At this point in the evolution of terrorism, it wouldn't be surprising to see a woman take an operational role.
ISIS recruiting videos actively target young women, enticing them to join the terrorist group. Some have been mothers like Tashfeen Malik, leaving behind a 6-month-old baby.
They're prioritizing martyrdom above all other aspects of their life, including raising a family.
The male suspect's sister is trying to understand what happened.
He was so happy with her. How could he leave his only child, and how could the mother do this?
The couple's neighbor is also left wondering.
It was like they were anonymous to all of us. It's really weird.
Authorities are now questioning the person who first bought the two high-powered semi-automatic weapons used in the attack and then sold them or turned them over to Farouk. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
In the wake of the San Bernardino shooting, there has been a spike in gun sales. In Virginia, the president of Liberty University is urging students at the Christian school to carry concealed weapons on campus. It was an announcement greeted by thunderous applause by students. Meantime, President Obama is calling for stiffer gun control measures to be implemented nationwide. Here's how local Congressman Brian Higgins is reacting to what's going on.
We've got to find a way in this country to address this issue. People, background checks are very reasonable. A background check could have determined a potential problem, and people should be denied guns if they have, a bad purpose in obtaining those guns.
Governor Cuomo says the federal government needs to use New York State as an example and pass regulations similar to those outlined in his controversial SAFE Act. The local Muslim community is reacting to what happened this week in Southern California. They say they're as shocked and as saddened as anyone over this most recent mass shooting. The government has labeled this an act of terrorism, and Muslims here are well aware that each time this happens, attitudes toward their community can take a turn for the worse.
We want the same things for our families, our kids. We're in the same community, and there's reasons why we are choosing to be here, because we love our community and we don't want to see this stuff happen anywhere to anyone. It's only happening, the harassment.
She also hopes people will realize that the vast majority of local Muslims are law-abiding American citizens who love their country. Terror is now a top issue in the presidential campaign, and the latest poll finds Republican frontrunner Donald Trump getting even stronger. ABC's Devin Dwyer is covering that angle from the White House tonight.
With his poll numbers at an all-time high, Donald Trump's warming up for an arrival at the White House.
I was wondering what you would say to President Obama.
You're fired.
Thousands turning out for Trump in North Carolina, including protesters who interrupted Trump 10 times.
Here's another one. Look at this guy.
Despite his controversial views, Trump is Republicans' top pick to handle their biggest concerns, including terrorism.
Oh, I would handle it so tough, you have no idea. You don't want to hear. You don't even want to hear. You don't want to hear how I'd handle it.
The shooting massacre in San Bernardino setting off a debate on the campaign trail.
If you had a couple of folks in there with guns and that knew how to use them, and they were in that room, you wouldn't have dead people. The dead people would be the other guys.
Ben Carson linking one of the attackers' visa status to refugee policy.
It is really should end this whole argument about Syrian refugees.
At a shooting range in Iowa, Ted Cruz called for an armed citizenry.
You don't stop bad guys by taking away our guns. You stop bad guys by using our guns.
Hillary Clinton focused on stopping guns from falling into the wrong hands.
We need to go after the terrorists, and we need to do more to save the lives of Americans every single day.
Stay with 7 Eyewitness News and ABC News as we continue to follow this developing story. As we learn new information, we'll bring it to you here on 7 ABC and on WKBW.com.